think that night she called and said she was in the tub, whatever. So I don't know if I called her, she called me, whatever. But I remember her like being in the tub, say, hey, I'm about to go to this home buying class, da 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 da. She said, hey, we know the doctor called back today. I said, yes, they say it's cancer, it's breast cancer, but I'm gonna go ahead and, knock it out, so don't even worry about it. And I got on the phone. Just as nonchalant, and never had asked her like how she felt about it or her opinions or feelings, or didn't ask anything. And this time in 2014, when it came back, waiting on same thing, kind of waiting on the doctor to call, and she was getting off of work. She works at Macy's, works in retail. She got off late, and I'm like, yeah, the doctor's called back today, and she's like, and she started talking about work, and this shoe just came in, and this, and I'm like, Ma. She's like, yeah, what's up? I was like, what you doing tomorrow? I'm gonna hook up with you tomorrow. And she was like, what did you talk about? You wanted to see me tomorrow and all that. What's going on? I said, nothing. I was just telling you the doctor called. And she still was talking about the shoes. I'm like, is she listening to anything I'm saying? I'm like, maybe this is her way of not, like asking me or finding out or. And then she had to talking again. And I said, Ma. She's like, what are you talking about? What's up? I was like, the cancer is bad. And she just started screaming. She had just moved downtown in an apartment. And I'm not even sure why these people didn't call the police. Like, when I say it was such an eerie scream, it was something between being in a haunted house and watching your child die. Like, it was so bad that I actually left here in my nightgown with my pocketbook. As I was leaving out, one of my girlfriends had just found out that, the cancer was back. So it's like maybe 1 a.m. and she's pulling up I'm just wondering, like, had she just been sitting outside? I wonder if she'd been sitting out there and wanting to come in or wanting to say something. But I don't know how in the world I walk out the door and somebody who comes here every now and then is just sitting out front, Her mom has died of breast cancer, and like 3 aunts have died of breast cancer, and she has an aunt with terminal breast cancer right now. So breast cancer has consumed so much of her life. So for her to just be sitting outside of the door as I'm running out of here to go console my mom was crazy. But she actually wound up going to my mom's house with me. I never hung the phone up. The entire time I was on the phone, my mom never stopped screaming. Never stopped screaming. So I have a keys to her place. I go in, and she's there, like pants and just a bra, no shirt. And when she see me, she's still screaming, and she's just hugging me. And she's like, no, like, this can't happen. And when she was hugging me, I was sliding off the bed. And I went to let her go to get back on the bed. And she said, never let me go. Don't ever let me go. And I just saw my girlfriend just kind of just turn away, because her mom actually lived with her as she was, dying from cancer. And so for all the feelings she probably felt or had around her mom and never got a chance to express, and then seeing my mom do that, I just seen her look away, and I'm like, Mom, I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. And she was like, no, this can't happen. And I've never seen heartache or pain like I've seen in that moment. And I think that feeling of I'm about to have to bury my last child, she didn't act, man, she doesn't know much about like staging or any cancer for that matter, so she doesn't know what to expect. So I think she definitely just, thought that here it is, it's back, and for it to be back after we thought it was gone has to be an issue, but I know she screamed and cried. I know for at least an hour. At least an hour. I can't even, I can't imagine that type of pain. Just, I don't know. As a mom, you want to protect your children. You want to, you want to do all the awesome mom things. You even if your child gets older, you still want that protected. Nobody wants to deal with the fact that my daughter has cancer again at age 36. My only child has breast cancer again at 36. Nothing can prepare you for it. I don't think she's ever received any received or asked for any counseling or asked to, learn more about what was going on. All she sees is what I share, via the Pink Wishes page, but she doesn't ask much. I took her to my first chemo treatment and she was so antsy. And I was like, just sit down somewhere, but once I thought about it later, it was her nerves. She couldn't deal with it. We in the same hospital where she just, saw her son dead on a slab, downstairs. So we're in the same place again. So I've never asked her to go with me to an appointment again, ever. Because I didn't want her to have that memory. And even, with every surgery I've had, she's been there. So even with that, I almost feel guilty of her going. As far as support, I know she wants to be there, but I know it's hard on her. So a lot of stuff I go through alone. I go through by myself. And, people say, well, why is nobody not here with you? Or why haven't nobody fed you? Or why are you trying to get in and out of this deep tub by yourself? You have 50,000 followers. Ask somebody for some help. Or, where's your mom? And I never pushed the issue with her because I feel like I don't want her to see it. I don't want her to see me like this. I don't want her to see all of the bandages. I don't want her to see, you don't want her just to see when you're down, and it even makes me irritated sometimes to even post some stuff via social media. I always run things by her first, major things, maybe not something small as an appointment or whatever, but, so she has to deal with all of the people who, she works in the shoe department in a retail store. So there are so many people that come through and see her or talk to her because they know me or know of me. And so it's like, it's in her face every day, all the time. And most of the time it's just like, hey, how's your daughter? And how's she feeling? Well, I seen such and such, or I seen she just had her appointment today. So sometimes she may not know about an appointment. And then somebody else then came in the store and said, oh yeah, this is happening and that has happened, So I know it's hard on her, but after seeing her reaction the second time, it made me wish that I had told her differently the first time. But of course, like I said, had never even thought about, like, how do you tell somebody that that you have cancer, especially your mom.